Very good afternoon. I am here to discuss and deliver my lecture on macro teaching. And today I have discussion on introduction skill. As you know that if any work is done effectively, then the chances of success automatically increases. It is believed that well begun is half done. In teaching, the teacher has to go through various phases. Mainly 3 phases are there. But first one is pre-active phase, second one interactive phase, and the third one is post-active phase. In pre-active phase, the teacher make plan, make strategy, prepare himself, prepare his matrix and his assignments, what he will face in the classroom, how to stand, from where the question would be started, how to make rapport with the students, how to be familiar with the students, how to get the responses from the students, how to start the plan, how to control the classroom, how to distribute the question, how to develop the interest of the students, how to create interest, how to motivate the students. As I said, then in teaching process, if the students are not supporting the teacher, then a good teaching cannot take place. And for it, it is very important if the student would take an active participation in the classroom. How to draw the attention of the students. All these things should be kept in mind while going into the classroom. How to develop the confidence level. In first class, when we take first class, in the beginning of teaching, when the pupil teacher go in front of the students, he don't have confidence. He feel hesitation. Sometimes he tremble. But the teacher is an independent variable. He has to develop his personality in such a way of making impression on his her student, especially in introduction skill. This point should be keep in mind. The teacher would have to impress her students. Teacher is also a model to her students. whatever he act is followed by his or students. The level of faith and belief between teacher and taught is very high. Recognition level is also very high. But the teacher should be knowledgeable, should be familiar to his or his students. The reports between teacher and taught should be good. He should be a good problem solver. He should create interest in the content. Next one is develop the confidence. This is also very important to develop the confidence level. Sometimes it is observed that the teacher prepared well. No sooner having entered into the classroom, he faced with the students who tried to disturb, obstruct the classroom. The teacher, what he prepared, could not be discussed properly, due to which he was not able to protect his confidence level. So it should be kept in mind, particularly in introduction skills, that the confidence level should be high, morale should be high, because morale is directly related to teaching competency. Next one, to create the interest in the content. The teacher, when he prepared his macro lesson plan on introduction skill, he should keep in mind that the question must be developed by keeping in mind that he should develop the interest level of the students. If you take interest, the teacher will be able to go ahead. If the student does not take interest in his topic, in his content, then he would not support the teacher on the teaching, learning. Consequently, the process would not be adjudged as a good and effective to motivate the learner. The introduction, as I said, this is also very important to motivate the learner. Sometimes it happens, and it is observed that the teacher complains that the student do not take interest in the classroom. They don't want to read, they don't want to come into the classroom. How would be taught? How they be teach? But the characteristics of a good teacher, I think that a good teachers are those who motivate his students, and if he would be motivated, definitely they will take interest in the content. Consequently, the teaching and the process would be good and effective. As I discussed, that in reactive phases of teaching, the teacher may plan. In macro teaching, as I discussed, that the objectives of the macro teaching of the introduction is particularly I was talking about, I discussed on such points what should be keep in mind while preparing your introduction skill. Another point I would like to discuss here that organized the questions, whatever questions we prepare, we develop as an introductory question. These should be organized in organized way. This should be simple to complex. This should be in linking. This should be related to each other. These should be in a sequence, in a serial, like serial. We generally use a serial approach. That the question should be in that form. And the very important objective of my activity is it should be goal oriented. Useful questions should be asked here. And should be goal oriented. While the teacher used to say, show that this is very important to you, this will be asked, and now I will discuss on such and such topics. Mainly, these are the points what I discussed here in the objectives of introduction skill. And there are some components I would like to discuss here that we use in our introduction skill. How to develop the questions. I discussed earlier in the objectives I have already discussed it, that it should simple. And the very important thing I am discussing here, that the previous knowledge should be checked firstly in what stage the student is. The problem take part from that point. If we are not a trained teacher, if we don't know the psychology of teaching, if we know, then that is very important. The good teacher are those who try to the level of the learner. First of all, we should know the level of the learner. The teacher should check the previous knowledge of the students. After checking that, should start the lesson accordingly. Second component is linking the knowledge in serial, as I discussed in objectives. So the question should be linking, the previous knowledge should be linking to a new knowledge. It will develop the interest level of the learner. It will also motivate him, her to learn. To link the previous knowledge with the new knowledge. Develop the interest of the learner. When we are able to link the previous knowledge with the new knowledge, definitely you will find that the learner would take interest. He would participate in teaching in a big amount. He would try to motivate the learner. How do we motivate? For example, I ask a question and she does not know. He is not able to know the response. Ask the same question to another one, and if he knows, okay. Although The reinforcement I will discuss later in my next slide, in my next topic. But in introduction, to call the student by using their name, it is also a psychological concept. Psychologically, that the learner knows that the teacher is calling me by taking my name, and he tried to show his interest in that. Next one, impression. What I discussed earlier, that well begun is hard done, but it is possible only and only if we would be able to impress on the students. So we should use such points, such content which would be related to the topic knowledge, goal-oriented, usability, and the relevancy of the topic. The main thing is this, that if the pupil teacher follow all these components in his teaching while preparing the lesson plan, he will be able to get good result from the students. Use of appropriate devices and techniques, he can. Generally he use questioning, answering technique, narration, storytelling. Sometimes he use demonstration method by using audiovisual aids. Dramatization. Sometimes what happened, students, what? Because he has to be familiar with these students also. The rapport building must be there. The teacher are adjusted as a good and effective teacher would be able to make good rapport with his her students. He has to use example also for making the content easy and accessible. Maintenance of continuity in the ideas and information. He has to maintain the continuity, the relevancy, the continuation, the serial, for making the topic and getting the good result from the student, effective and getting the good result from the student. Relevancy of verbal and non-verbal behavior. Sometimes, yes, it is also expected to behave either verbal or non-verbal behavior. Rapport building is also very important in introduction skill. And so, in concluding my topic on introduction skill, I would like to suggest here to the pupil teacher that if they follow all these steps, definitely they will get good result and they will get good response from the students. Some delimitation I would like to discuss here also, what we observed in that internship or during pre-internship year. The pupil teacher develop such questions that they are not relevant, they are not simple, they are not goal-oriented, they are not related to the topic. So you should aware such disadvantage of questions. You should develop simple questions. First of all, he would have to develop the rapport by using example, by narration, by questioning, by storytelling, by demonstration, by using audiovisual aids, by dramatization. Sometimes he uses these techniques. But our goal is to reach on the topic whatever we are going to discuss, whatever we are going to teach to the pupil teacher. So, finally, I would like to say that introduction skill, if you would be able to follow all components and keeping the objectives of the introduction skill, you will be able to perform your role in the classroom as an effective teacher. Okay, thank you.